This happens faster when others try to reproduce the initial change. Then, what seemed fresh inevitably will be lost. For all of us in the video game industry, there is danger in standing still. Common sense is not enough, but there are answers. Personally, I believe we must find more ways for players to feel engaged, different ways for them to be enriched, even with interactions we would not call games. And most of all, the overall experience from our products must be increased enthusiasm. Unfortunately, all this is much easier to say than do. So, let me conclude by saying that we at Nintendo always challenge ourselves to be pioneer in forming new paradigms. We seek fresh surprises, and I hope you will enjoy the ones we have for you today. The first one fits with a larger social trend we all see, with consumers acting as creators and then sharing their work. Certainly, we are not the only ones to think along these lines. But we believe Nintendo can add something different, engage players in new ways. So, thank you for your attention this morning, and please take a moment to consider how Mr. Katsuya Eguchi is bringing creativity and community together in a key holiday release. Thank you.
I became a game designer because ever since I was a child, I loved playing video games. As far as how I came up with the idea for Animal Crossing, what I thought was to create a field where the players could communicate with each other. I wanted to create a software where players could feel like they are playing together, even if they are playing at different times. The town is where you live and do the things you like. There are no required goals, and the players are free to do things their own way. I think the players really feel like the world is happening in real time. Even when you are not playing the game, the animals in the world of Animal Crossing get up in the morning and then go to bed at night. So you could really feel like you are visiting a realistic world with a 24-hour clock year-round. The city is a brand new place to explore in the Wii version of Animal Crossing. There is an auction site where you can see items that are for sale. Of course, you can also put up your own items for sale. There is a Happy Room Academy where you can find out what other players are doing. You can visit the famous fashion designer Gracie at her store. You can also go to Harriet's beauty salon, where you can change your hairstyle or even choose to put on a mask and look like you're me. Of course, the key to Animal Crossing is communication, and there are some exciting advances. For one thing, you can write letters to other players and attach pictures to them. You can send them not just to other towns, but to the Wii message board, or to friends' cell phones and personal computers. But the biggest news is a special new microphone option called Wii Speak. It's not a singular headset, but a community microphone that lets every person in a room talk with another room for players anywhere in the world.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey guys, what's up?
For example, for today's main event, we are having a fishing contest.
You guys are in major trouble.
You can catch different fish depending on the season.
Oh man, I'm out of practice.
I didn't know you were practicing.
Oh, this is terrible.
Waiting for it to bite. Waiting. Waiting. Got it.
Oh, that one's mine.
You can really get a sense of the personality of the player. For example, when you go to someone's town, you can see how they decorate their room, or if it is neat or messy. It's also fun to see how they have set up their town, because it tells you what kind of person they are, and I think that's really fun. It makes me happy to hear stories of people who are able to talk with their friends, or even able to make new ones. Looking ahead, I want players to continue to be able to have the freedom to create their own worlds, to be able to communicate with others in a variety of ways, and to share the world they have created, and to have a place where the players can connect with each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and Chief Operating Officer for Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aime.
Good morning. When I last talked to you from an E3 stage, I closed by saying that we at Nintendo were pleased, but not close to being satisfied. With Animal Crossing on its way to Wii by the end of this year, complete with the Wii Speak option, of course we're pleased. And in a larger sense, we're even more pleased with our marketplace momentum. After all, in May, according to the NPD data, lifetime sales in the US for Wii hardware reached 10 million systems. DS surpassed 20 million. And the sales of these two game devices alone now combine to represent more than $5 billion at retail just in the US. But despite all this, we're no closer to being satisfied. That's because there are still tens of millions of people around the world ready to get into the game that we all love. And at the same time, there are millions of us veteran gamers hungry for what's next. At Nintendo, we want to fill both those needs. Let me begin with a little marketplace perspective, and I promise I'll keep this short. Here are lifetime global hardware unit sales for the last iteration of each major platform. The biggest bar belongs to Nintendo DS. By the end of our current fiscal year, next March, we expect that total DS worldwide sales will grow to almost 100 million systems. Focusing on DS here in America, annual sales have ramped up each year. Now, some people still cling to previous expectations for product cycles, and consequently thought that 2007 would be the peak year for DS. However, it still represents better than 2 out of every 3 handhelds sold here in America. And so far, in 2008, DS sales here in the US are running another 12% ahead of last year's record. Hardware sales are always driven by key software franchises. And this spring, that key franchise was Pokemon. Sales of the companion Mystery Dungeon series sold through more than 600,000 copies in just 6 weeks. This grows lifetime total sales for all Pokemon titles to 180 million. The arrival of games like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games have pushed total DS software sales in America 29% ahead of last year. Now, later this week, we believe the June NPD data may show that the back and forth battle between Wii and DS as America's best-selling game system may have shifted for the moment back to DS. In no small part, it's due to those evergreen titles Mr. Iwata mentioned. We began running a TV campaign in May targeting females, featuring celebrity endorsements. Within weeks, unit sales for titles like the Brain Age games, Nintendogs, Super Mario Brothers at least doubled. To repeat, there seems to be an unlimited number of people out there just looking for a way to get into our game. For Wii, the sales trajectory is climbing even steeper. This chart shows comparative system sales. The blue bars represent the first 12 months in the market, and the yellow bars represent sales from year 1 through month 19. It's here, beyond the realm of the early adopters, where Wii demonstrates how its historic sales pace is actually increasing. When those June NPD numbers are released on Thursday, we will not be surprised if Wii becomes the best-selling console in this generation in America, just as it already has on a worldwide basis. Now, you all know about the popularity of Wii hardware, but perhaps not as widely appreciated is the story for Wii software. It's exactly the same. Again, no system has ever sold more games during its first 19 months of availability. And again, the sales advantage after year 1 continues to grow. It's no secret that Nintendo internally approached game development for Wii on 2 different fronts. On one hand, we made sure we leveraged our well-known stable of stars early in the generation to satisfy and reassure veteran gamers. But at the same time, we also created new titles, beginning with Wii Sports and continuing with Wii Fit, that made even confirmed non-gamers stand up and take notice. But now a new dynamic is emerging. Having passed a year and a half in the market, our creative third-party partners are finding success with Wii. To date, 19 different third-party games on Wii have exceeded sales of 400,000 units in America alone. And those titles come from 11 different publishers. The wonderful thing about this trend is that there are almost as many strategies on how to attack Wii development as there are different developers and publishers making those decisions. For example, you might ask if this is the platform that will be dominated by new kinds of casual games. Or is this the place to use the unique forms of Wii interface to freshen up even the most legendary IP? Or is this the ideal spot for new franchises with obvious core appeal that set new standards for a genre? Well, the correct answer is all of the above. The Wii library continues to grow far faster than other current consoles, And there'll be dozens and dozens of new titles arriving in the coming months.